we go.
So a big portion of what we do is talk about product stories. Like, I guess, what is a product story in a simple term, and why are they important?
I mean, to me, the biggest thing is people don't buy products, they buy stories. And I think, especially now, there's so many products and so many choices out there, it's almost overwhelming. And like, as humans, we make like 30,000 decisions a day. Like, you guys probably make 50,000 decisions a day. And sometimes we think we want to make less decisions, but we don't. We just want to make the right ones. And so to understand things fast, it's really important the stories, right?
Yeah. And, visuals can do a bunch of things, like improve understanding. Yeah. They can make a deep emotional connection with your consumer and just make your product memorable.
Yeah. So really, like, how is that any different than just sharing the product facts?
So you guys know this, like studies prove that humans process visual images 60,000 times faster than text. So it's pretty much a no-brainer, right? It's always better to show than tell.
I mean, I'm an engineer and a math geek at heart. So I love the numbers and I love the facts. But at the end of the day, the only way the numbers and facts really resonate with somebody is if they're supporting some sort of a story. So if the story's there and then it makes you want to dig deeper, then the numbers will just be much more meaningful, more impactful once you have that context.
I also wonder if visualization is a way of connecting with people on a more personal level. Like when we learn to read at school, well, at least in England, I don't know how it worked here. When we started to learn, there was no words in the book. It was just pictures. And then we'd have to make our own story up from the images that we were seeing. So I wonder if by showing maybe this is something we should explore actually. Like, if we show a picture and then ask people to tell us a story, does that lead to a connection specific to them versus what we are telling them they should feel?
Well, I think when you add motion to those visual images, like it can tell a story without a VO, without text, without anything. It can tell the story.
Which is really important now because we all watch 3 screens at one time.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I would say one, like for me in life too, like for career-wise, when I was at P&G, I worked on a project called Old Spice Cool Contact when I was still young. And it was frustrating for me at the time because it tested really well in the lab. The consumer testing was off the charts. Every indication was people were going to love this thing, and then when it went to market, it flopped. And the more you dug into it, it's because like the story of what made it special just never really came across.
So the takeaway that I got, Mike, from what you just said is product stories are really important because people buy stories and not products, right?
Yeah.
And that's coming from the CEO of a company that doesn't sell products but sells storytelling.
Yeah, and to that point, like we are designed to start with the product story very early on. But what do we really do to like uncover like that wow factor for like the products for our clients?
Well, one of the things, and Cindy does this more than anybody else, I think, is just play with the product. Yeah. I mean, many of our clients come to us and they haven't even tried the product or like put their hands on it. So I think when you experience it, well, I don't want to speak on your behalf.
Yeah, no, but 100%. Like getting your hands on the product, really understanding what it does, and then having the ability to really push those visual images is an attention grabber, right? And then people get it.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think also like when you experience it and you play with it and you see it come to life and you use it, people can tell you something, they can describe it to you, but until you like feel what that is like or like see it do something that you haven't imagined it would do, it does make you think about it in a different way and frame the story.
Well, and it's showing is telling, right? So people believe it when they can see it with their own 2 eyes. And a lot of the things that we do is like that kitchen logic, like somebody could do it in their own house and see the results. And that's what I think resonates with consumers.
Well, and I think one of the things we do too a lot is we bring the scientists back you bring them back into our lab too. And I think, you work on things for 10 years and sometimes you kind of you forget the magic that you got excited about in the first place. I think you get them back there playing again and they start to remember the magic. Like what was that first spark or insight or piece of that product that really was exciting, and how do you start to show that and bring that to life again? Because it gets buried sometimes over time.
And I think sometimes, a little bit off topic, but I think sometimes like with Upstream, bringing that fresh perspective to looking at a product with new eyes. To your point, somebody's been working on it for 10 years. They you lose sight, right? So bringing fresh eyes to it and a new way to look at and visualize things is extremely.
Well, I also think sometimes when we do these types of projects and we work and we play with the product, what the client teams think the magic is isn't actually what the magic is. It might just be either thing they haven't thought about or something that they just don't talk about anymore because they talked about it 5 years ago.
Yeah, or it's something that they've overlooked, from the very beginning. They just kind of overlooked it, or they've already shared it lots of times, so they've already moved past that. So we just kind of bring that back to the surface.
Yeah, so what advice do you give when new teams come and they're trying to actually start on this journey and try to start things early? What advice do you guys give?
For me, it's start early, begin in the lab, think through what the story is going to be, and then you are very close to your product. You have a lot of knowledge. Sometimes that closeness can get in the way of seeing the bigger picture. So I think inviting other teams in who have the right mindset of curiosity, nerdy people from science backgrounds, from marketing backgrounds, from production backgrounds can really help unleash that story and starting early.
Yeah, honestly, it's come work with us. We see it so many times where at the end of the project, they think that they've hit all the touch points already, but they don't have the story yet. So it's kind of starting very early on and kind of creating that story before it gets too late.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.